So, you're considering doing long-distance highway trips on your Honda Rebel 1100. Well, coming from someone who just got done doing an 1,100-mile trip on my Rebel 1100, the best advice that I can give you is don't do it. At least not until you install these 5 must-have mods for anybody considering touring on the Rebel 1100. You see, I'm not much of a long-distance highway rider myself. In fact, in the past, I've been pretty open and honest about the fact that I just don't enjoy that kind of riding. Maybe our opinion will change at a certain point, but I think this is solidifying the fact that it's just not really the kind of riding that I'm into. But believe me when I say that these 5 simple upgrades are enough to make even a rider like me enjoy long hauls on the highway and multi-day trips on the Rebel 1100. Alright, now this list is going to be in no particular order. It's not going from like most important to least important or anything like that. As far as I'm concerned, every single thing on this list is just as important to have a comfortable and successful trip. But of course, when you're talking multi-day trip, the first thing that's going to come to most of your minds is how am I going to bring everything that I need? And that was a big concern of mine as well, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is luggage. And I don't want to brag, but I think I really knocked it out of the park with my SW Motec saddlebags and my Torque Sissy Bar bag. Starting with the saddlebags, you cannot deny that these things are just absolutely gorgeous. This diamond stitching here is beautiful, and it also has these MOLLE attachment points back here so that you can add other bags. Or in my case, I put this little like water bottle holder, and I actually have spare gas in there. Not for any particular reason, you know, it's not like I've ever ran out of gas before. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's really not good. It's just in case. I just ran out of gas in the rain on the side of the highway. Bruh. Now these saddlebags are lockable so nobody can get in there, and it's super easy to just unlock them and get to your stuff. I forget how many liters these things hold, but I can assure you it's plenty. Between these saddlebags and this, I keep wanting to call it a tail bag, Sissy Bar bag, between all of this, I am packed up right now for about a 7-day trip. Or for the most part. I've already unpacked a little bit of it at home, but you get it. So they're lockable, nobody can take your stuff. It's also locked to the bike, so nobody can take the saddlebag itself. And my favorite part about these is that you can just turn this little knob right here, and that unlocks the bag from the bike, and just like that, it pops right off and has a handle so you can use it like a suitcase. Ignore all of my dirty clothes in here from my trip, but this one does the same thing. This one's usually a little bit firmer to get off. Oh, there we go, but it pops right off. Now don't quote me on this, but I believe these bags are water resistant, not waterproof. I don't even know if they claim water resistant, but I've seen that they are. You can see that even though it looks like fabric, it is like kind of plastic shelling. So I found that water does not get through these. However, you can see that like the flap here is not sealed, so they're not completely waterproof. They do come with waterproof bags that you can put in there, but I don't use those because I've found that as long as I have a waterproof Sissy Bar bag, I can put all of my electronics and everything in here, and anything that it doesn't really matter if it gets wet can go in there without issue. Now the reason that I love this Torque bag is because not only is it 100% waterproof, but it is the simplest bag that I've found to put on the bike and take off. I have a Burley brand bag that I use as well, but the issue with that is that A, it's not waterproof, and B, it has all these convoluted straps and it's a pain in the ass to put on. This thing I can put on within about 30 seconds. Let me show you. Alright, so we got the bag here. We just wore it out of the house as a backpack, which was super convenient. And then when we need to put it on, watch how simple this is. It's honestly mind-blowing. It has these little like sleeve things here, and these just slide right over the Sissy Bar. This buckle comes underneath the Sissy Bar. Come around and click that in, pull it tight. Take all the excess strap and just put it underneath this rubber thing right here to hold it in place. And you can see it's already not going anywhere at all. But to make it even more secure, you take the shoulder straps from the backpack, clip it up front, and then same deal, pull it tight, and you are good to go. That's literally it. Show up at the hotel, you already got the saddlebags taken off. You just come over and pop this bad boy right on off. Throw it on as a backpack, and just like that, all my luggage is ready to take into the hotel. Now, once you have your luggage figured out, what is the next question that everybody asks? Is my booty gonna be sore? Okay, maybe not that exact wording, but you get it. You're going to be spending a lot of hours in this seat, so you have to make sure that you have a comfortable seat. And if you've watched any reviews about the Rebel 1100, you know that everybody complains about the comfort of the stock seat. I've tried several different seats on this bike. If you know, you know, and this seat has by far been my favorite. This is just a no-name eBay seat. Links to everything that I'm showing will be in the description, whether that's links for the item itself, or if I've done an install video that goes in more depth, I'll link that as well. And I absolutely love this thing. I think it was like right right around $200. It looks beautiful. You can see that it has a lot more surface area than the stock seat. It kind of like swoops in and has a flatter back to hold you in place. And of course it has the passenger section that my girlfriend has no complaints about. She says it's way more comfortable than the stock passenger seat. And of course it covers the entire fender, so when you put a sissy bar bag back there, you don't get scratches. This thing is not the most comfortable seat in the world, but for $200 you cannot beat it. I can spend hours and hours on this seat and not have any issues. And then of course back here, I mean, you can see it's rusted because the finish wasn't the best, but I do have a thumb screw here, so if you need to get underneath the seat to the storage, you can still just turn the key, unlock it, and then you can use the thumb screw to pop it all the way off, so you don't have to use an Allen key on the stock bolt. But even still, the seat pan of this is like just flexible enough that I can still lift the seat up and get under there if I need to, so super nice. I love this thing. Now the third must-have mod, I'm going to be honest, I was a little bit torn as to whether or not I should pick the risers or the foot pegs, so I'm just going to kind of do a 2-for-1 special and rope it all together and call it controls. In my opinion, you have to change the ergonomics and the controls of this bike in order for it to be comfortable and fit your body perfectly. And hopefully you can see I have done just that. So these risers are 6-inch risers, which actually means that they're 4 inches taller than stock. So just picture from the factory, your bars are like down here, you're hunched over, getting pinching in your neck. The stock foot pegs are really small and it's hard to keep your feet on it, especially at highway speeds. Like my thighs would start hurting because my feet are rolling all over the place and I'm trying to get them to not slip off. But between these bigger foot pegs and these risers, honestly, like, I'm chilling. It is so comfortable. Some people use different risers than these. I had to do a little bit of work to get these to work. Some people just use the plug-and-play adjustable rocks risers. Some people use heli bars. And for foot controls, you know, some people use mini floorboards. Lots of people really like the forward controls. I'm a mid-control guy all the way. I love how sporty it feels, but the foot peg is still grippy enough that I'm not going anywhere. And if I need to stretch out, I just throw my feet up like that on the crash sliders or do a little something like that. I would much rather be comfortable around town with my mid controls and have more control in twisty roads and then be able to stretch out than always be stuck with forward controls. But regardless of what you go with, whether you get different foot pegs than this or different risers, the main thing is just finding something that fits you. Some people are going to need shorter risers, others might need taller risers. Some people are going to like different foot pegs, but this has worked perfectly for me in everyday use and long trips. Now number 4 is also kind of cheating. It's a bit of a 2-for-1 special as well because I couldn't decide between the tires or the shocks, so I'm just going to call this point of contact. Wait, isn't a point of contact like if somebody has to call you or something? Contact patch? I don't know. The thing is, the ride of this bike is totally transformed with these Metzeler Cruise Tech tires and the Burley brand stiletto shocks. From the factory, the rear suspension is just not great. I tried playing with it as much as I could. You're getting bucked all over the place off of bumps. The tires aren't confidence inspiring at all. You get a bit of high speed wobbles. So as far as contact with the road is concerned, definitely upgrade your tires and your suspension. These stiletto shocks are great. They're inexpensive compared to pretty much any other suspension for this bike out there, but they still do an incredible job. They have 2 different spring rates, so they're going to help with not only smaller imperfections in the road, but also bigger bumps. They're preload adjustable, and the Metzeler Cruise Techs, I mean, they're great. They last forever. They're confidence inspiring. You can lean over and they're still grippy. The Cruise Techs are honestly my favorite thing that I think I've done to the bike just as a confidence inspiring ride is concerned. Especially when you're ripping on the highway at the speed limit, those things are going to keep you nice and planted and the shocks are going to keep you comfortable as it happens. And last but not least, the 5th thing that you have to do to this bike if you're doing long trips, this is non-negotiable. You have to have some sort of a fairing or windshield. This one is the Memphis Shades Gauntlet fairing and I absolutely love it. It's perfect for me. It will also take care of any gigantic bugs that are trying to smash into you. This one is perfect for me because it keeps the wind off of my chest and keeps the strain off of my arms on long rides, but it's not big and obnoxious like a Batwing fairing, so it still looks nice when you're just riding around town. It's not overbearing. But if I did want to swap this out, it's so easy to swap out because Memphis Shades has these trigger locks here that you just pop up and take right off, and then I can just use the mounts on on either a bat wing or a regular windscreen and just pop that in place if I need something bigger, but this has never let me down. And then just like that, locks right back in place and it's not going anywhere. I don't know how well it'll show, but when I'm sitting on the bike, the air comes up and it comes like pretty much right above my GoPro. So it's just enough that all this air gets directed around my chest and takes all that pressure off. I don't have wind hitting me in the chest, pulling me back anymore. I'm real nice and relaxed, but the air still comes up to a point that most of my helmet is in the breeze, so the helmet can just cut through the wind as it's designed to, as opposed to dirty air coming off of this and having to find the perfect height windscreen so that your head's not in choppy air and whatever. So for me, this is perfect. But I know some people are going to want something a little bit different, so maybe check out the Memphis Shades Batwing fairing. If you have a Rebel 1100T, you can even get just a taller windscreen to go on the stock fairing. Whatever you pick, in my eyes, it is a non-negotiable. You have to have something blocking the wind up there or you're going to get tired fast. Oh, and actually, I know I already kind of cheated by doing a couple of 2-in-1s when I was talking about this, but I did just think of an honorable mention for 6th place. And that, I guess, we'll call electronics. And that's going to include these fog lights as well as the quad lock wireless charger up here. I could not see myself doing a trip without either of those. Let's turn the bike on so you can check out the fog lights. They'll come on once the bike is, yep, there we go. They are set up with the Thunderbox, Heeltech Thunderbox under there. Super simple install, and they automatically come on and off with the bike as it senses the voltage difference. These fog lights are an absolute game changer because that headlight, the stock headlight, is not the best at night because of the cutoff line. If you're out of town and you're only on the bike, you're gonna end up riding at night, and these fog lights illuminate everything. And then the quad lock wireless charger, of course, I use my phone for GPS. If you're using an actual GPS, this won't be as important, but this thing wirelessly charges my phone and then quick, easy on off, and you can just stick it right on there. It's locked and charging. Both of these things are absolute game changers, and they get honorable mention because I said 5 and went beyond that. Now, can you do a several thousand mile multi-day trip on a stock Rebel 1100? Absolutely. You can do anything, but in my opinion, you're just going to be surviving that trip and not enjoying it. The better prepared you are and the better set up your bike is, the more fun you're going to have on the trip. And if you set it up just right after some trial and error and get it perfectly dialed in the way that I have, I think it'll really open your eyes to how much fun long trips can be, and maybe you'll become a believer like myself. Shout out to the Patreon members for making all of this possible and allowing me to live my crazy YouTuber dreams and allowing me to go off on these insane long trips that I've come to love. And if you want to support the channel in the biggest and best way possible, make sure to check out patreon.com/lifeofburch where you can pledge your monthly amount, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Love you guys. Peace.